What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Wow! Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you will receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. Leave a like, leave a comment on this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let's get into it. And this story takes us to Salinas Valley State Prison, where indeed 3 SouthSiders diabolically butchered a CO who they deemed to be racist. Now, for the most part, they're behind the walls, in prison, in any incarceration capacity, juvenile hall, county jail. For the most part, when I think back in hindsight, I would say 90% of the staff assaults against the authorities there behind those walls are perpetrated by black people. If not 90%, at least 85%, at minimum 85%. There are various reasons for this. I'll give you a couple of the primary reasons that I believe this is so. The SouthSiders, for the most part, they do not attack the police. Now, they have attacked the police, such as in this story. Not too long ago, all of the SouthSiders, when the police was jumping on one of them, beating on one of them on the yard, SouthSiders gave the word, and all of them jumped up and attacked the police, like 100 SouthSiders or something. So it does happen. But for the most part, again, from what I have witnessed with my own 2 eyes, and I have witnessed many staff assaults, most of them, again, 9 out of 10, are exercised and executed by black people. I believe, for one, the SouthSiders, as we all know, have a hierarchy. And they can't really make these sort of moves on their own. Just go stabbing the police. Because the hierarchy looks bad. They put them in the SHU programs and all of this. The police believe that if a SouthSider stabs one of them, the head honcho gave the okay, gave the word. So they come down on them. As Dub says often, this and that is bad for business. This violence and this and that is bad for business with them. They're thinking about money. So they don't want any issues per se with the police, at least unnecessary, unwarranted. If they can circumvent it, they will. Because if they're stabbing the police again are coming down on the higher ups, searching their cells, putting them in the SHU program, putting them in the hole, feeling like they called the shot for this to happen. Or they at least, are complicit in that they tacitly gave their okay. So they don't want this. They're trying to make money in there, get things in. They go on lockdown. They go to the hole. They go to the SHU. The police are hitting their cells hard, not showing them any love whatsoever, because now you done stabbed one of their people. You done stabbed the officer. So now the police ain't fucking with you. The SouthSiders don't want this. So for the most part, they don't have many disputes with the police. Again, it happens, but it's not common. Whereas the reason that black people would be more guilty or more proponents of assaulting the police, again, that's manyfold. For one, black people don't like authority. And they don't like authority figures because of our past here in this country. We don't want anyone telling us what to do that has a badge. Also, these unalivings, brutal unalivings, unjustified by the police, add fuel to the fire. We get these messages there in prison. We know what's going on the street. And we see the police in there the same as we see the police on the street. And for the most part, the blacks, they don't have to answer to anyone as far as, if a black feels like he wants to stab a police for whatever reason, he's not about to go get permission from anybody. He's just going to do it. And most of the time when these assaults happen with the police, they are haphazard. They are not planned. It's spontaneous, as the case with the SouthSiders, when they all jumped up and attacked the police because the police was whooping on one of their people. It's the same most of the time when you see a black assault an officer. Most of the time, it's not planned out. It just, the police got him foul, got him weird, disrespected him. It don't matter who you are. You must show respect behind those walls. A police then disrespected this man, and he took umbrage, and he took flight. And oftentimes, it's just spontaneous like that. But for the most part, it's just that black people, we don't like authority. We don't like authority figures. We don't like the police for the most part. Because our experience with the police is different than yours. That was all just a side note. Let me get into it. And so I just said all that to say that, again, it's not often that a SouthSider brutalizes the police. But in this case here in Salinas Valley on Sea Yard, had to have been 2008, perhaps 2007, but I believe it was 2008. The police behind the wall, what we call behind the wall, where they have the trades, laundry, med fab, where you can learn a trade behind the wall sometimes, depending on what prison you're in. I've talked about behind the wall before. You have to get searched before you go back there. It's a trade. You go back there early in the morning. It'd be 6 a.m. You come back at 3 p.m. or so, depending on what trades you have back behind the wall. Now, of course, they have COs behind the wall to police the joint. And you have your teacher back there. Teachers have brought in, cell phones and different stuff, as have the officers too. But behind the wall, many things happen. And it's a big part of the yard. And the happenings on the yard, what goes on behind the wall in the trade. And here we had a SouthSider, let's call him Devil. I don't really know what his name was, but for the purposes of the story, so we can all keep up, let's call him Devil. And Devil was a strong SouthSider, this I do know. One of the SouthSiders who did not smoke, drink, do any sort of illegal substances, worked out, and really had a propensity to mind his own business. I would say he was a strong individual, a soldier of sorts. Followed orders, followed the rules, and was trying to do his time and go on about his business. He had a trade behind the wall there on Sea Yard. And behind this wall, he was okay with his teacher, but there was this CO that worked behind the wall that used to come into this class. They come into the class and check on everything, basically do a security check. Peep into the classroom, walk through the classroom, what have you, the COs. And this particular CO began to bother Devil. He told Devil one time that he couldn't be eating in the classroom, that he had to wait for lunch. But he didn't tell anyone else this. He was just bothering Devil for some reason. And then even at one point, a few days after this incident, where he told Devil that he could not be eating in the classroom, he made some sort of sly racial joke. This was a white CO officer. Made some sort of sly racial joke towards the Hispanics. Devil caught it and said, man, you barking up the wrong tree. This is what Devil tell him. I'm not here to cause any problems, man, but don't disrespect me and my race. Don't disrespect my people. What's your problem, man? And the CO told me, I don't have a problem. What's your problem? The CO is aggressive and clearly has some sort of disdain for Devil for whatever reason. And Devil, again, has been minding his own business from day one. He doesn't bother anyone. This CO saw him as a target, fixated on him, fixed his aggression towards him, and lived it out on a daily basis. perhaps the CO was thinking, this dude can't do anything. He's not going to do anything without permission. And for the reasons that I aforementioned, that's why I brought those things up. It's going to be hard to really get permission to stab a CO because, again, they don't want this heat upon them. They're not going to just let anything slide. But, if you just feel a little disrespected because the police, says something slide to you, no, that's not going to suffice. That's not going to be good enough to get a green light to stab one of them up. But this CO, he's pushing it. And every man has his breaking point. So one day, devil comes. Once again, he's already by now had, some sinister thoughts at least as devil. He's went back to his cell a couple of times and he's ruminated over this issue. And he's thought to himself, I can just do something to this CO. I can really get this dude. Who does he think I am? Who does he think my people are? Because again, he's shown racial disrespect and disregard towards devil. At least this is how devil has perceived their interactions. And pretty much he's had enough, but he has not brought the issue to the higher ups just yet. Until one day, nearing lunchtime, they're in class. The CO comes in and asks devil if he's intoxicated. He told him that his face is red and he hasn't been acting right or looking right in the classroom. Devil said, what are you talking? You just walked in here. You don't know how I've been acting or how I've been looking, man. I don't do any substances. He really took offense to this because he's in good health. He's strong. He takes care of his body. He doesn't use any sort of stuff. And so a person like that, that's health conscious, oftentimes frowns upon this sort of usage, and it's going to take umbrage to you implying or insinuating that they are some sort of addict when they are health addicts, if anything. So, devil, he's none too happy. And the CO tells devil that he's going to send him to the program office to have a test, essentially a drug test, that he believes that he's intoxicated, and he's going to send him there to have a test. Now, this is embarrassing for devil because he knows that he's not intoxicated. He doesn't use anything. He doesn't drink this pruno stuff. He doesn't do anything. And now the CO is interrupting him and disrupting his day and his peace, bothering him, done handcuffed him. He handcuffed devil and walked him to the program office. Devil asked him, what's the reason for the handcuffs? He said, well, in case you have something on you, I'm going to take you there and search you because I believe you're intoxicated, so you might have some of the stuff on you, and I'm going to test you. The devil said, man, you're picking on me, you're bothering me. Devil had talked to the sergeant and the lieutenant there in the program office when the CO escorted him there and told him, this dude is picking on me nearly every day now for no reason, and he's coming with these racial jokes and shit, man. Now he has me in the program office for nothing. But COs, the lieutenants, the sergeants, they're always going to side, for the most part, with their brethren. So they're not paying devil any mind. They just see him as someone who's complaining. Perhaps he is intoxicated. And now he has to face the music and is trying to get out of it, so he's pointing the finger at the CO. The devil, he's in the program office and he's steaming. He's pissed because he knows that he doesn't use and that now all of these COs are just bothering him, or that this particular CO is bothering him, and none of the other COs are standing up and doing the right thing. And it was at this juncture, there inside of the cage in the program office, after he took a urine test, that devil was resolute. He had made up his mind. He had made up his mind. He had resolved to settle the score with the CO. He felt like he had went too far, made too many racial jokes, and that now he had no other recourse. That when he took it to the CO's higher-ups, they did nothing. So now he would take it to his higher-ups, and that's what he did. He explained the situation, that this CO, he knew he had to at least throw in the fact that he was racial, this CO, in order to tip the scale in his favor, get the permission, the green light, to take care of business. Knowing that perhaps the hierarchy would be hesitant, again, for the reasons I've already mentioned, to give him the green light. Well, to his surprise, maybe they were not hesitant. Once he explained the situation, that they were picking on him and bothering him, taking him and the Rasa as some sort of joke. They readily gave their stamp of approval, designated 2 other people to go with Devil, and put this CO in his place. Not long after, just a few days after the SouthSiders had plotted and planned how best to attack the CO and get away, at least, for a while. They wanted to, I believe, unalive him. I believe it was a hit to take him all the way out, to send a stern, strong message not to ever try this again with one of their own. The plan was in place, and it was easy. They decided the best way to get the job done is as soon as they open up the vocational classes and they go past the metal detector and get into the class, to attack him immediately before the classroom even fills up. While it's still chaos outside, police are searching people, people are coming into class, it's still early morning, and they can create a diversion, a distraction, buying them time to get them good. They went behind a wall and got into the class, and they did not hesitate. Devil, he was first to move, since it was really his issue, and he was really the one that was irate with the system and this damn CO. And he charged like a raging bull, drew his weapon quickly, and hit the CO right about the neck area immediately. The CO, shocked and surprised, bleeding and scared, grabbed his neck and dropped down to the floor. And when he grabbed his neck and dropped down to the floor, Devil's comrades came. One of them grabbed both of the CO's arms and held him down. It seemed all to be planned so that he could put up much of a fight, much of a defense. And while he held his arms open, Devil, well, he wailed on him about the midsection area with a sharp, stern object. And he continued to pummel upon the police, enraged, and all of his anger releasing itself at this very moment. Eventually, other COs came by, heard the ruckus, hit the alarm, and they came and rushed the SouthSiders down. But the damage had indeed been done. Now, somehow, indeed, the police did survive these wounds, but the attack was severe, and he barely survived the attack. He nearly did not make it, the CO, but he did make it. But he was stabbed over 19 times. A few times in the face, a few times in the chest. He had a vest on. They have vests on oftentimes, or if not all the time, the COs there on the level 4 prison, or just prison period, actually, I believe. And that may have saved his life, but They still hit him in the neck and the face, in the arms, everything, man. They brutalized him. It was vicious. It was blood everywhere. They rushed Devil and them to the floor, cuffed him up. They, tried to rough him up a little bit. They didn't just stab the police. But he put us on lockdown, came and did the cell searches and all that. I was in Salinas Valley. I paroled in 2009 on CR, level 4, 180. And after that, they let us off lockdown. They wasn't, and in fact, they did not bother the SouthSiders as far as targeting them, hitting their cells, and transferring them off the yard and putting shot callers in the hole and this and that. They really did not. Perhaps what he did indeed send the message. They got the job done. That's what happened there in Salinas Valley. The police was, I suppose, out of line and out of pocket. He was racist and racial, and he was targeting this man and bothering him for no reason. This is someone who was really, I know for a fact, minding his own business constantly. Every time you saw him on the yard, he wasn't even in a group. He'd be with one person, and they'd be over there working out, doing a lot of burpees. He was minding his business. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I mean, he was brutalized over it. Did he have it coming or not? Let me know. I'll be back. And in the meantime, stay free, people.